Hi, everyone. Mute on. Hi, Lydia. Hi, everyone. Wow. Okay, so everyone who's RSVP'd is here. We can just start. Hi. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Usually I get on and takes a few minutes. So I'm switching to mobile readiness. I have a weird sense that I'm either getting ready to re-quarantine or getting ready to be on the move. So I'm testing my systems this week so that I can be ready to leave at a moment's notice. So can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Cool, and it's like good, okay, good, then we will get started. Okay, just gonna take 1 second. If while I'm kind of settling us in, if you need a blank piece of paper, I just wrote my Capricorn full moon manifestation harvest. So if you happen to have a blank piece of paper around, that's awesome. If you want to take a minute to get one, go ahead and do that. And that's for our 4 square. Any blank piece of paper will work. Alternatively, if you have like a piece of like in a notebook, you can just do like a quadrant, like a 4 square quadrant. And we will go from there. So just as a reminder, you guys can always download the Wix app where you can get all of these rituals on the go. I'm really testing our systems to the max this lunar cycle because I don't know, I just feel like the world might be kind of opening back up or things will be moving a little bit, and I want to make sure that this is available for everyone. So you can get the app by going to your members email. So you should have received an email that says welcome, start here. And in that email, if you scroll through it, we have an app for that. Alternatively, if you just go to goldenotter.us or autumncycle.com or Golden Otter Divinations, if you just navigate to our homepage from a mobile device, it'll pop up and it'll say join the Wix app, and that's where you can download it and you can have the app. And in the app, if you click on members view, okay, struggling. It'll have the forum, and then it has all of the rituals. You guys can't see that, can you? But it has all of the rituals, so you can always access this on the go. And something else that's exciting is for the rest of this year, new and full moons, we're updating with like a PDF download. So you can always access it on the go with the Wix app. Alternatively, you can download it and like save it on your phone so you can view it if you don't have Wi-Fi or from your desktop. So you can download the app. I'm sorry, you can download the ritual. Okay, do you want to come in? Come in. Sorry, my dog wants to join me. Let me get Lucy and then I'm going to close that door. Come in. Come in. Come in. Okay. Lucy has not missed a ritual yet in 3 years, and she just kicked the door open. She's like, what are you doing? Okay, we done. Okay, so hopefully you have your 4 square. So this is the Capricorn full moon manifestation harvest ceremony. And there's the gallery view. Here we go. And so what we're going to be doing during this ceremony is reflecting. And right now, the Capricorn full moon, we're straddled between, it's a lunar eclipse. So that means it's just an intensity that isn't, we don't always have at each full moon. Things are heightened. Just a really pivotal full moon. We're right in the middle of the calendar year. And it's a time when we're reflecting on the intentions that we've planted over the last 6 months. And we also happen to be straddled between 2 Cancer new moons. So that's very unique. We usually don't have repeating new moons back to back in this way. So 2 weeks ago, we had a Cancer new moon, and in 2 weeks, we'll have another Cancer new moon. And the reason that's important is Cancer new moons are all about like vision quest and looking towards the future. Our ritual surrounds, is about like it's about creating your vision board, like an annual vision board where you really go in and you clean things up and you put only what really truly resonates with you. And I think you can still go back to the Cancer new moon in the members area and watch a replay from last week if you want to see that. But the reason why it feels like why this Capricorn full moon might feel like an extra, it feels like extra illuminated in some ways, where like things that maybe were okay, and it's like, well, it's okay, like it's not the worst, it's not awful. They didn't totally lie to me. I don't feel completely betrayed. This is my noise, not yours. Um, I wasn't intentionally deceived. So how do I feel about that? It's like, no, like this Capricorn does not mess with that energy. A Capricorn is very like, it's a very kind of black and white energy, loyal, disloyal. Like there's no different, there's only two sides of a coin. And in a Capricorn full moon, especially straddled between these Cancer new moon, it's almost like all of those small little things where you might be like, well, kind of on the edge. I don't know. Does it really bother me? Does it not? I'm not sure. No, it's just, it becomes very obvious, like which side of the coin something is going to fall on and how you feel about it. And with the energy of the Capricorn full moon, it's a great time to weed out. And like I've been using the word like declutter and purge, but it's really a weeding. Like just like you plant your intentions, as like we have a garden that we plant, we're going in and now we're saying like, no, this does not belong in my garden. This does not belong in my energy. And it's okay to do that. As light workers, I've been getting a lot of like private messages in the members app, because also you guys can message me directly in here. So if you don't get a chance to submit your questions before the call in the members forum, like maybe you don't feel comfortable having it public, I totally get that. I totally respect and honor that. You can message me privately. And I've been getting a lot of questions about like, we always want to do things like of the highest good, like of enlightened love. But at the same time, we're also spiritual beings having human experiences, and it's okay to have contrast. It's okay to have hard opinions on things. And that doesn't make you less of a spiritual person. That doesn't make you less, I don't even know what the word would be, like, you're fine. You're okay to make those hard decisions if it's what's, if it is what honors your soul. And you're not, you didn't come here to live for other people. And so the Capricorn full moon is here to like give you that permission to lean into the energy of like decluttering and pulling out. And I'll go over our ritual in a minute. It's like very grounded. It's like a tree ritual, literally, which might help you with like identifying what you want to keep tending to and what you're really ready to weed out. We're heavy on the gardening analogy for this ritual. But first, on your Foursquare, it's that blank piece of paper. You're going to fold it into fourths, or if you're just using a blank sheet in your notebook, you can just draw like a Foursquare. There's a nice PDF copy of this in the Capricorn full moon. Alternatively, if you go to the resource section, you can get a whole year of these. So for every new and full moon, like Capricorn new moon, Capricorn full moon, Aquarius new moon, Aquarius full moon, it has it on both sides, and so you can print it and you'll have a year's worth of Foursquares. Or you can just grab a Foursquare and create your own. And what you're going to want to plant is, I feel like I should have like a blank one for you guys. Your 4 quadrants. Yeah, there you go. So here's your quadrants, you can kind of see them. So you're going to have health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. Alternatively, you could use words like ease, flow, connection, and expansion, or 4 words that resonate for you. These are the quadrants of our life that we're going to be planting in, and we do our planting at the new moon. So we're at a full moon phase. So what we're going to do is you're going to turn it over and you're going to reflect on intentions that, if you've been doing this a while, that you planted 2 weeks ago at the Capricorn new moon, or 6 months ago at the Capricorn new moon. So you're looking at a 6-month reflection and a 2-week reflection. The 6-month reflection is your macro reflection from January. Oh, I'm sorry, it's December 26th. So the day right after would have been like Christmas week, December 26th, 2019. That's the energy you're reflecting on. And then micro 2 weeks ago, the Cancer new moon, your micro intentions. So we use the words micro and macro for anybody who's new on the call, anybody watching this on replay. Thank you guys for tuning in at a later time. Micro and macro are really just used to refer to the time between those reflections. So like a micro intention would be something that you'd plant at a new moon, and then you'd look at it 2 weeks later at the full moon. A macro intention would be something that you'd plant at like a Capricorn new moon and look at it 6 months later when the corresponding full moon comes up. Because the moon moves from new to full and then back to new every 2 weeks. New moon, full moon, new moon, full moon, new moon, full moon, new moon, full moon. And so it's like a cyclical practice, and it's kind of like catching up with things that you planted. And the best way to think of this is like a garden. So when you plant a quadrant, when you plant an intention or you plant a garden, you put a seed in, and then you sprinkle it with some water, maybe some love, maybe some moon dust, and then you more or less walk away. You kind of water it and tend to it, but you don't sit there and wait and wonder. And then in 2 weeks, you might see like a little sprout come up. Oh, cool, like my intention is blossoming, my seeds are blossoming. You wouldn't expect in 2 weeks to like come back and to have 8-foot sunflower stalks. We haven't reached that level of quantum activation yet. I mean, unless you're using some like really high quality, I don't know, hydroponic growth situation. But in traditional horticulture, that's not what we would see. In 2 weeks, we'd see little kind of micro sprouts. And then in 6 months, we would see like a bigger yield that you could then harvest. So when we're reflecting on things from 2 weeks ago, we're kind of looking at those little things that might have come into our reality. And again, little is a subjective term. I always like to give an example. Like one of my micro intentions was that I wanted to start walking more and just getting out to kind of clear my mind and energy. And I've settled into a really easy to maintain and a really joyful schedule of going for a 2-mile walk every night, like almost every night. And originally the intention was just like 3 days a week, but we found a new puppy back at the, what was that, Sagittarius full moon. For anybody who was around, her name is Strawberry. It was a strawberry full moon. We rescued her and she's growing like a strawberry patch. And she's full of energy. We've always had like a little dog, so she kind of runs around. We don't have to exercise so much. And now we have this big dog, and this puppy needs walked. And so it's not even just me being like, oh, I want to go on these walks to clear my mind and like to move my energy. Now I have an external reason. And so it's like the universe conspired to make it easy for me to have my intention come into fruition. And then in 6 months, like, where will that intention go? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so at some point in this next three days, you're going to want to reflect on your intentions from 2 weeks ago and 6 months ago. And if you haven't been doing this for a while, like if you're new to the practice, what I always encourage folks to do, like, because if you've been here, you would have your new moon intentions, and you could go and look what you planted back in the Capricorn new moon and in the Cancer new moon. Now, if you didn't do that, totally okay. You can go back and check. What I always suggest is check emails. So go back 2 weeks and check on any outstanding emails, and then go back 6 months to around like December 26th to check emails. Same thing with text messages, DMs, invoices, anything that would have a timestamp on it so that you can go back and look. A journal, a calendar, anything like that. And then you can kind of see like, what were you intending for your life at that time? And are those things coming into fruition for you? Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. So that's our manifestation harvesting portion of the ceremony. And then we're going to kind of go into the ritual of a way that we can be supported at this time. And then we'll open up to questions and go from there. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Okay, so the Capricorn full moon, longevity, legacies, and living in the moment. This is the ritual. Go ahead, same 2 to 3 day time span. You're going to go in there and check it out and do it whenever it feels right for you. And it's just so funny when I talk about like the examples that I use, and this one's a very earth-based one. So planning for the future while living in the present. Do you ever want instant results, even though you know in your soul that anything worth having or creating will take time? It's my moon. I'm a sea-growth Capricorn that's been living in the future since I can remember. People literally ask me like, oh, well, what did you want to be when you grew up? Just think of that and follow your passion. Like, I just wanted to be an adult. I didn't really care. I just wanted to reach adulthood. So now that I'm adult, I'm like, oh, what were those desires? I joke. My eye is always towards the horizon, which is a large reason why my soul led me to being an educator. As a strong-willed and headstrong Capricorn, I like to push hard and demand high-quality results, often as quickly as possible. I love instant remedies, improvements, and change. I've matured in my thinking, however, over the years, and have come to realize that planting healthy habits, seeds of inquisition, and instilling the joy of being a lifelong learner is not something that can be done overnight. For positive, life-sustaining habits to truly thrive, they must be nurtured through measured daily interactions that grow and multiply over a lifetime. Just like a small acorn sprouts into a beautiful oak tree, a soul's education, just like a traditional education, is an unfolding practice. It takes many, many moons, and that's okay. That's why we've come to this funny place called Earth. It's our celestial classroom. So this month, to honor the time that it takes to plant, nourish, and grow our intentions over the arc of a physical lifetime, we have a full moon ritual to aid us with living in the present while planting seeds for the future. So blood light and a canopy of cover, this is the Capricorn full moon ritual. So to get the full guide, make sure you go into the app or go into the members forum in the platform. But this month is all about getting grounded, and it literally, like, the ritual is to go find a tree that calls to you, or a place where there's physical roots in the ground. And we've been talking about this on the last couple of calls. We've been doing a root bowl, like a guided root bowl chakra meditation, where we literally envision growing roots into the ground. And this is a great one to kind of borrow the energy of Mother Earth and connect with a tree and ask it for guidance. So whatever tree calls to you, if it's a little sapling, what energy of that sapling, that new sprout, what is that telling you? If it's a really established, tree in an arboretum, like, what has that tree seen that maybe could be something that you could take into your soul as like an arc, like a guide, like an arc guide for your soul's journey. So yeah, take a minute in the next few days to go outside and find a tall timber that calls to you. It can be in your backyard, your neighborhood, a local park if you're able to, an arboretum, or any outdoor space you feel comfortable exploring until it's just the right tree to call to you. Now, if you are going to do this ritual in a public space, you don't have to go out and hug a tree. You can simply go and put your back against the tree. You could lean against the tree. I mean, there's any number of things that you can do tuning into a tree's energy without looking like a total tree hugger, but really, what's wrong with that? And after you found your spot, introduce yourself to the tree, and just like you would a new friend. And you can do this in your mind's, we always say in your mind's eye, but like in your mind's auditoriness, like in your inner voice, you can do this. And take a few minutes to lean against it. Thank it first for everything that it does for our environment, how it recycles our nutrients to produce fresh air and beautifying our worlds, because a big part of the full moon energy is to give thanks. So the full moon illuminates our path so we can see everything before us. We know what we need to pull out, and then we see what abundance has come, and we give gratitude for that. We give thanks for that, and then it multiplies as we plant new intentions going on. Okay, so take this practice to whatever level of experience feels right for you. Again, if it's just putting your hand on a tree, or going out into your own front yard, whatever feels right for you. And then if you happen to have conducted the January new moon ritual where we had the squared away year, I'll show you guys the printout of it. It's like a 4 square. And there was an activity where you could place a crystal over each of the quadrants to draw in the energy of that crystal into those quadrants. You can go back and connect with that and just kind of actually, that reminds me, I'm gonna get mine out, so I'm gonna recharge mine tonight. You can recharge your squared away year and recommit to any intentions that you may have planted at that time, because the world is different. I mean, I don't think any of us, even the light workers among us, I don't know that we anticipated this level of quickening to happen so quickly. And I was just saying to another member earlier in the week that I can see August 1st, and past that, it's like a nice cloudy haze. And I'm interpreting it as a nice cloudy haze, meaning I'm being gifted, I'm being given the gift of the present moment and looking just today, just tomorrow, just the day after. Because we can get so forward focused, and that is like a Capricorn, that's a very Capricorn energy, to totally forget what's going on today or tomorrow, and to be like, well, in 6 years and in 7 months and in, you know, like Capricorns are always going towards the future and can really miss the present, which, as we say, is a gift. And so anyways, recommit to your Capricorn new moon intentions, because it could be that when you look back at these, and even if you didn't do this ritual back in January, look back at your planner, look back at your any intentions that you may have set, like in your calendar, in your messages, in an email to somebody. Did you email somebody, say like, oh, Happy New Year, I'm really hoping to do this, or because it would have been right around New Year's. So it's like, what were your New Year's intentions? And see if any of those have come true in maybe completely unexpected ways. I can tell you personally that, and I don't even know what I was thinking when I planted this. I said I wanted to take 3 months off this year. And I think I even include like 3 months off as a family, which my spouse is active duty military. They don't get 3 months off. Like, you don't get that. That just doesn't happen. And we're going into month 5 of working from home, working, but very much a time off schedule, like where it's just us in our family. Doesn't look how I thought it was going to look when I clearly planted that intention. I kind of probably thought like a month in Alaska and a month in, you know, on the East Coast and a month in the desert. Like, that was probably what I was thinking. But it wasn't very specific, and the universe sure delivered on that. Okay, so you can go back and you can recharge your squared away year. You can put crystals on it, and just kind of check in with yourself for what's going forward. Okay, and then the last thing that I wanted to mention about there's some more options in here that you guys can go and look at for the Capricorn full moon, but I want to open this up for questions. Okay, it's a heavy time right now, and I don't want to sidestep that. And there are a lot of things that were kind of right below the surface are coming up. And I invite you to take this not as we're all human, and we're all having like human experiences, and everyone is going to miss stuff, and no one is perfect. And right now it feels like there's a lot of shadows being revealed. And when a shadow is revealed, it's a perfect opportunity to practice compassion, grace, and forgiveness for yourself and for anyone whose shadow you're seeing. And I'm saying this just as much for me as individuals I've come into contact with in the last couple days. So personally, Golden Otter, I don't know if any of you guys saw our newsletter, we are going to be moving away from the word tribe into the term moon circle. So that's an owning of my personal shadow, so that when the Lunar Manifestations Forum first started, it was a forum. It was an online long post blog forum where people could comment and share. And then eventually it kind of morphed into a tribe or a group. And tribe language was adopted inadvertently. And while it never sat exactly right with me, I always thought, well, this is an honoring of another culture and or my culture, because you know, ancient Europeans did have their own groups. I recognize with great respect that the word holds great cultural significance in the modern era for specific groups. And as such, we'll be moving away from that and into the term moon circles, or just the circle, to hold space in a way that honors the group and it honors my own feelings about it, because I never felt completely aligned. And that's what I'm trying to share right now, is that this moon cycle, there's going to be more things like that come up for ourselves, where even if we didn't intend to offend or harm, it still may trigger us in a way that goes, oh, how did I not know? How did I not think? Why didn't I do this sooner? And that's okay. You simply say, I know now. Now I see my shadow. Thank you for the contrast. I'm moving forward. And when we're willing to look at our shadow self and say, in this darkness, I will plant a seed of light. Because just like the new moon is a time of darkness, that's when we plant our intentions. We plant our intentions in the dark. and then they blossom into life during the full moon. So I just want to offer you that. I also want you to encourage you to trust your instincts when you are weeding this month, because anything that maybe felt okay a little bit ago, even if you felt like, I think I trust this person, really look into that. I think I trust this person. I think I trust this place. I think I trust this food even. Really, really lean into that, because our veil of trust is becoming, it's becoming thin, and it's either it's there, it's not. And that's the gift of the Capricorn full moon, where we can lean into our own inner knowing on something and not have to take in external factors. You can simply say, this is not right for me, period. Next sentence. Okay, so I'm gonna leave with that. I'll open it up. If anybody has any questions, let me put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. I'm doing a mobile. I'm on my app. I'm sorry, I'm on my, what do you call this thing? An iPad. I'm on my iPad, so I'm a little bit different. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to pop them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll close with a prayer, and we'll kind of like, we're just gonna keep this as a quick ritual. Quick ceremony.
Hey, I can't figure out how to type in the chat. So, now.
Hi, Lydia.
Hi, I have a quick question. So, first of all, thank you so much for bringing in this space for all of us. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. And the question I have, when you are writing out your intentions for the full moon, is it okay to put the areas that you want to take out? Or like if there's, for instance, if you have a relationship that you know you're supposed to be stepping away from, is that something you would do in a separate place rather than putting it in this that we're putting together? That is my question. So like more of the weeding out, do we do that in our intentions?
So I always encourage you to use your planting space however you want. It's exactly how you would plant a garden. So if it feels right for you, I would say do it. I personally do releasing in my quadrant. So I'm sorry, something I didn't mention is whenever you're writing your intentions, so this is more for like a new moon, you want to use declarative statement that draws it into the now moment. So I am receiving, I am releasing, I am experiencing. So the idea of intentions is that the more you plant, the less, it's like you're crowding out what no longer serves you by virtue of bringing in what does. So it's not a matter of like stripping everything away. I think of it as like kind of like a diet, like really pull everything out, and then you're like, well, I have celery and water. I'm really doing well with this. And it's like, no, that's not sustainable. That's not a way to live. It's more like I'm inviting in new kale recipes and new, baby chard recipe. Like I'm experiencing all these new things, which by virtue of bringing those things in allows me to release or crowd out, which no longer serves me. So if it's possible, like in your relationship quadrant, if this is like your connection or your love quadrant, you can use words like, I am inviting in new experiences or new people who fill me with love, fill me with joy, who reflect back the beauty in the world that I see, which allows me to easily release this. Because the more we're able to release things with love and just like send it away, the easier it is to call in those things that are for us without maybe, the energy of like guilt or whatever that may be creeping in. In our email that just went out, there's an ancient Hawaiian prayer, which, with deep respect to the culture from which it comes, it's, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And you can use those words in any four order, you can use those four terms in any order that feels right for you. And when you're releasing something, when you can kind of encapsulate it in that, it's a good way to send it, where it belongs with love.
Thank you. That answer helped.
Okay. Thanks. I hope are you guys doing well in South America? You guys are good?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. I'll connect offline. I've been wondering how you guys are doing down. Okay. And I think I saw something in the chat. what were the 4 other options instead of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression? Perfect. Okay, so health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression come from Florence Scovel Shinn. She was an early 20th century hey, come here, please. Metaphysician who wrote The Game of Life and How to Play It. And so health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression are her terms. But when I was planting with those, I felt like they were very concrete. And it's like, this would happen in my health. This would happen to my wealth. This is my love and perfect self-expression. So over time, I started using the 4 words: ease, flow, connection, and expansion. And I use them in a similar way to health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression, but they're a little bit more elastic terms so that my desires or the things that I'm hoping to manifest come in ways that are not as clear cut. Like, because health could be anything, right? Like, we oftentimes think of health as our physical well-being, but it could also be our spiritual well-being. It could be our energetic well-being. But I also encourage members and you guys to use 4 words that work for you. And I always liken it to a garden. So if you're planting, like, my garden is going to be very different from my husband's garden. I'm going to plant carrots and squash and pumpkins and beets. And they're all root vegetables. And I love root vegetables. He's going to plant kale and spinach and celery and I don't even know what else. Arugula. Like, it's not that I don't like those things. It's just that I'm personally planting a rooted garden and he's planting a, above ground garden. And maybe that's not the best example, but it's just whatever you need to plant is what you need to plant. And so find 4 words that resonate with you. And just know that if you ever need guidance on where this quadrant, this square of life comes from, it's Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play It. And we have a link to it in the resource section in the forum. Let me pull it up for you guys. Oh, this is fun that I can do it on the app. It's so much faster because usually I'm scrolling on the computer. It is in the ritual guides and resources. It will be in the Game of Life post. Yeah, the Game of Life. So it says manifesting in the game of life. Health, wealth, love, perfect self-expression. And then it kind of goes through the history of that. Last but not least, something I've been doing the last couple of months, and I haven't really mentioned it on any of the calls. I think I have a window open and there's bugs in me. Is that I'm sharing some of my intentions with you guys. And I haven't done that in years past. I maybe have shared a little bit on the calls, but I'm a full open book, full transparency. And I've gone in and shared some of mine for the last couple months. And if there's anything that you would like to share with the group, please go ahead and do so. And you're always welcome to create an alias, a pseudonym, a totem animal, a spirit animal, a crystal energy, whatever you want. And then you can post in a completely anonymous way. And the circle, the co-creation station, is a great place to surrender anything that maybe you don't want to hold yourself, because that's what we're here for. So an intention that maybe it's big, I'm going to be sharing soon that we are looking to buy a ranch in Sedona. It's probably a 5-year plan, but I would like it to be a 6-month plan. And that is something that I probably would have kept private for a long time. It would have been a family thing that we nurtured and blossomed. But that's something that once I find that land and I walk on that land and I know that that's my land and that's where we're going to build our home, I want to be able to share with you guys so that you can see, look how she planted this. Whether I plant it in 6 months and it comes true in 6 months, or if it's 6 years and you're checking back a minute, is that autumn girl even still around? What is she doing? Let me log in. Holy crap, she got her ranch in Sedona. Now that's just one example. But that's why I think that the power of the circle is so great, because we can see these things that we each want to plant and cheer each other on. And even if you don't like and comment and do all the tech stuff, it's an energy that we hold together. And at the very least, I see those. I see the things you guys message me privately, and I hold them so dear. And I truly, truly believe that if you speak your desires to another person and they help hold that space, things manifest. So anyways, you can get as biblical as you want with that because there are these like ideas and metaphysics, but I want this space to be the place where you can surrender those big wants and those big desires that maybe you're not willing to speak out to other people, and know that the circle has your back. Okay, any other questions before we close this thing out? Double check the chat. Oh, okay, kind of like this. I think I'm gonna start doing this on here. This is so much, I don't know what word I want to use. Easier? Sleeker? Okay. I want to thank everyone that came together on this call today, here in person, anyone who is listening at a later time, whether it be within this current moon cycle or many, many down the way. We honor you, we respect you, and we are so, so, so grateful to hold space with you in this circle as we all step into our desires with honesty and integrity for ourselves, for members of the community, and for those that we interact with in our daily lives. And we trust that all of our intentions that are for our highest and best, and those that we love, are coming to us instantly, easily, and joyfully. In gratitude, Autumn, thank you guys. Thank you for this beautiful circle. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you around. Message me if you need anything in the app. Okay. Thank you. Bye.